Did you ever wish life had a do-over button? Well, on YouTube it does.
Nice.
I hate the demo that I did of this pedal a couple of months ago, so I'm gonna do it over today, right here on GearGasms. Hi everybody, welcome to GearGasms. I'm your host, Alan Barnes. Today, I'm going to do another crack at this DemonFX Friedman BE-ODX pedal. Now I say Friedman with air quotes because obviously, of course, this is a Chinese knockoff of the actual Friedman pedal. And I'm going to tell you how I feel about that kind of shit in just a minute. But first, if you're new to the channel, I'd like to ask you to like and subscribe. This channel is kind of like being an Uber Eats driver. You know that at least one time per shift, you're coming face to face with someone gross. Celebrate mediocrity. And speaking of mediocrity, when I did this pedal video the first time, there was a whole lot wrong with it. I was super scared of the cease and desist that our friend Dave Friedman put on this pedal in the US when it first came out. A friend of mine is the US distributor for distributor
Flex
for DemonFX, and suddenly he found himself unable to sell these, so he sent me one for free. Does that make a sponsored video? Oh, hell's no. And here's the reason why.
I do not care.
I don't like this. This is too much. It's too far. The graphics, it's too close. It's one thing to copy a circuit. I know you can't copyright or trademark or patent an electronic pedal circuit. But come on, guys, these graphics is too much. You can be a Chinese pedal company and you can make pedals, and we will welcome you into the guitar community, into this market. This is out and out piracy, though. It really is. It might not technically, by the letter of the law, be considered piracy, but companies like this display such a complete lack of ethics that I personally would not do business with this company if they said, hey, would you like to show our pedals on the channel? This is exactly the kind of bullshit that gives Chinese gear companies a bad name. There's tons of great ones out there. You've seen them on my channel. They just make stuff. They don't copy things necessarily. They just make stuff. But this is too much. Another thing that was too much about this first time I did it was there's a trim pot inside that was set at noon. This thing had like almost zero gain range. It went from oof to oofer, and that was it. So this time I'm gonna get in and play with that trim pot a little bit. The first demo I did of this was god awful. I didn't really take the time to learn this pedal and try and use it in a bunch of different settings to show what it can do. You all complained. You all were right. I'm not going to go over all the specs, the knobs. I'll put a link to the original video in the description if you want to see all that hoo-ha. I don't know how this is going to go, but I promise you it will be better than the first one. Okay, the signal path for today. My trusty Epiphone Les Paul, it's got super distortions in the neck and bridge position. DiMarzio super distortion pickups. Straight into the Marshall. We are on the clean channel. Almost no gain. A little bit of reverb at times and maybe some delay through the loop. SM57 on the speaker cabinet. I don't know if you could see it. So you can hear it's pretty clean. Now, the last time, obviously, I didn't change anything inside it. I didn't touch that trim pot. I left it in the middle. And that's still where it is. And here is part of the problem. We'll take the gain all the way down. We'll keep everything else centered up. That D again. Oh my goodness. That's the gain all the way down. There is nothing subtle about that. Now, depending on what kind of music you play, for me, I need a little bit of gain range. That's unusable. So I'll run through this a little bit at the way it is. Then we're going to open that bad boy up and futz with it a bit. This is out of the box. That's a lot. That's 9 o'clock. Let's go to noon. You can hear the hiss coming up, so you are adding more gain. It's just not as perceptible in the sound. Maybe in the tightness. One thing that this tight knob does is it seems to, it either adds treble or subtracts bass, because it can get kind of flubby all the way down, and I'll show you. And did you notice with it all the way up, even when I stop playing, we don't start to get that feedback? So it's pulling a lot of bass out of there. Now, what if the tight is all the way up and we want to add some bass back? I have no idea what's going to happen. That's what makes this fun. So with that, I just demonstrated clearly what the tight knob does. Now this is a Les Paul, it will go out of tune. But not too terribly. Now the reason I played that horribly skronky passage there is I wanted you to hear some of the high-end information, not just on the chug, what the distortion does up top. So let's turn that gain all the way up. Give it a little more bass kick. So again, I wanted you to hear the whole range of what that gain does across it. Did we sweep the EQ last time? Now let's see how the presence interacts with the treble. We'll go treble flat. Goodness gracious, that's a lot. But while we got it oofed, I'll just throw a little bit of lead. Again, that clean sound. Oh, brother, this guy stinks! Turn that tight all the way up. All right, peeps, we have seen the inside of this bad boy before. This is the orientation of that trim pot, and obviously you got plenty of room, get your hand in there, so you don't need a screwdriver. It is set out of the box to noon. You can go the other way and get more gain, or you can take it all the way down. I don't want to neuter it quite that much. Can you see that there? I was able to put it at just about 9 o'clock. I think it'll have a lot less gain, and we'll be able to do a lot more with the range. Shouldn't I at least put one screw in front of the audience in case they don't know how to do it? To tighten the screw, you turn it clockwise. You don't want to over torque. I'm still turning. It's a really long shaft. That's what she said. Old Trogly loves a good that's what she said. Back where we started. Here we go round again. We turn the gain trim pot down inside of the box. We're gonna do it again, do it again. Now, we remember how we had this, came into this last time. I think it was the D chord, gain all the way down. Let's hear what we get this time. That clean D. A little more tame. So let's go to about 9 o'clock. Oh, I'll be right back. Try that again. Right away, I feel like that's a more controllable gain range. I'm halfway up and I'm still feeling the difference. So let's hit that max gain where we are now. We'll just do some rando pseudo chug riffs. I wanted to flub you. Did you like that? Did you enjoy being flubbed? When you want to chug, you can't have all that flub happening. It's got to be tight. One thing I haven't done is to clean up with the volume knob, because that's so important. All you volume knob riders out there, I get my cleans by turning my volume down, man. So we're gonna do that max gain lead thing like we did before. I know that's not what you want to hear. I know that's not what you're interested in, but goodness gracious, let me play a little bit of single note awfulness just to keep my reputation for being a shit YouTube lead player up. Just in case you wonder what it sounded like without that. Now I turned the tight off on that just because I sort of feel like, you know, maybe you wouldn't have that on so much if you were doing lead through this. I don't know. You tell me. Is this a lead pedal? Is this things that like solo guys would like to do, or is this just simply the Guitar George of the Doom world? They know all the chords. Man, he's strictly rhythm. He doesn't want to make it cry or sing. All right, so I'm liking it a lot better with the lower gain range. And so what we're going to do next, and it's going to be really short, I promise you, is we're going to try this thing out into a less clean front end with the same pulled back setting and see if we can really get some mind-blowing tones. All right, now the shit's getting real, son.
That's what she said.
We got a little bit of dirt. We're still on channel 1 of the DSL, but we're on the crunch voice. Alrighty, I understand. I think now I understand. I'm coming to an understanding of why people like this pedal, because I didn't like it the first time and nobody liked it either. when I did it. I understand now. Okay, all right, all right, all right. Okay, it will do that as well. Well, what did we learn today? We learned that, in fact, if a YouTuber would simply take a few minutes, maybe an hour before he turns on the damn camera and learns about the product, he can make a much more useful video for the guitar community, which is what he's supposed to be doing in the first place.
Come on!
We also learned that if you futz with the gain trim pot inside this thing, it really opens it up and give it a lot more range. All you oof kids, you might want it maxed. Me, I likes it about 9 o'clock. We also learned that this tight knob is the secret sauce of this pedal. If you're a chuggy oof kid, you need to make friends with this knob.
Sexy time.
And finally, we learned that amongst the Chinese guitar gear manufacturers, there are tons of companies out there who are actually making new products, innovative products. Xsonic is one of them. Van Gogh is another. Then you got shit like this. As always, I thank you for the time that you spend with the channel. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Tell some of your dirty, embarrassing, low rent, high debt carrying friends about the channel. I'm sure they'll fit right in here perfectly. You can buy a t-shirt, you can buy a sweatshirt, long sleeve, short sleeve, leggings, cups, pillows. We got it all. Whatever you do in the next 7 days, don't tell Joe Perry about it, because he's apparently too stupid not to cock block himself on tour with his own guitar. Aww. But play more guitar, watch less of this, keep coming back here week after week for more GearGasms.